Far away in a distant part of the universe, there was a planet called Zarkon. This planet was home to a very advanced alien race. The Zarkonians were proud of their strength and power. They had great technology and were excellent fighters. For many years, they believed they were the best warriors in the whole galaxy. They had never met any creatures as tough or as brave as themselves. Among the Zarkonians, there were many stories told about different kinds of beings across the stars. Some stories were about strange animals, others about new worlds, and some were about warriors from faraway places. One story that was very common among the Zarkonians was about human warriors, but the aliens did not take this story seriously. They thought it was just a myth, a made-up tale told to scare children or to explain old battles on Earth long ago. The humans were known to the Zarkonians as a small, weak species from a blue planet called Earth. The Zarkonians believed that humans had no chance in a real fight. They thought humans were unorganized and lacked the skills needed to survive in space battles. Many Zarkonians laughed when they talked about human warriors. They said, "Humans? Warriors? That is impossible. They are too weak and slow. It is just a fairy tale." In Zarkonian schools, children were taught about their own great heroes, strong warriors who fought with powerful weapons and clever strategies. These heroes were known for winning many battles and protecting their home planet from many dangers. The children were told stories about how the Zarkonian warriors defeated huge enemies with ease and how no one could match their fighting skills. When the teachers mentioned humans, they quickly told the children that these stories were only myths. "Humans are not real threats," they said. "They belong in fairy tales, not in real battles." Despite this, some Zarkonians were curious about humans. There were reports from distant space explorers about the strange ways humans fought. These explorers described humans using different weapons and unusual fighting moves that seemed unpredictable. But most Zarkonians ignored these reports. They believed their own stories and did not want to think humans could be dangerous. The idea of human warriors became something like a joke among the Zarkonian adults. During gatherings, some would tell stories about the mysterious humans who supposedly fought with great courage but no real strength. They said humans must rely on luck or strange magic to win any fight. They believed their technology and training were far better than anything humans had. So they dismissed the whole idea quickly. Even the Zarkonian leaders who made important decisions about war and peace did not think about humans seriously. They focused on threats from powerful alien enemies nearby. Humans seemed too small and unimportant to bother with. The leaders believed that if humans ever tried to challenge them, they would be crushed without much effort. But legends have a way of growing stronger over time, even if people try to forget them. Among some of the older Zarkonians, stories about human warriors were told with more respect. These stories spoke of humans who fought with great bravery, who never gave up even when outnumbered. They said humans had a strange strength, a strength of spirit and will that made them dangerous even without advanced weapons. Some Zarkonians remembered ancient tales about Earth's history, where humans fought wars with swords, bows, and simple tools, and yet managed to survive and win. These tales suggested that humans were more than just weak creatures. They were fighters who could surprise their enemies when they were least expected. Still, the general belief on Zarkon was that humans were mostly harmless myths. They were seen as creatures to be ignored, stories to be laughed at, not real warriors to be feared. The Zarkonian soldiers trained hard every day using the best weapons and techniques, confident that no human could match them in battle. The Zarkonian society was built on strength and honor. To be a warrior was the highest respect. Warriors were admired and celebrated for their skills and victories. They believed that fighting with advanced weapons and sharp minds made them the strongest in the galaxy. No one from Earth could challenge that. But deep inside, some Zarkonians wondered if the stories might be true. Could humans really be that strong? Could they really fight and win against the best aliens in the universe? These questions were kept secret, hidden behind jokes and dismissals. This was the world on Zarkon, a place where human warriors were myths, where aliens thought themselves unbeatable, and where no one expected the truth to arrive soon. Then, one day, everything changed. The quiet world of Zarkon was about to be surprised in a way no one had imagined. One day, during a time when tensions between different alien groups were rising, something unexpected happened. A human female warrior named Lila arrived on Zarkon's home planet. No one on Zarkon had ever seen a human like her before. She was different from any alien they had ever met. The news of her arrival spread quickly through the planet like wildfire. Lila's journey to Zarkon was long and difficult. She came from Earth, a small blue planet full of life, but seen by many as weak in the grand universe. But Lila was not weak. She was a skilled fighter, trained in many kinds of combat. She carried weapons that looked simple and old-fashioned, compared to the glowing energy tools used by Zarkonian warriors, but there was something powerful about her. She carried herself with confidence and purpose. Her eyes showed strength and determination. When Lila landed on Zarkon, the planet was already tense. The Zarkonians were preparing for a possible war with another alien race nearby. Their leaders were busy making plans and the soldiers were training hard. Suddenly the news came. A human warrior was on their soil. Many laughed. "This must be a joke," they said. "A human here? They will be caught easily. They are no threat." But the truth was very different. Lila did not come to Zarkon to talk or to make friends. She had a mission. She wanted to prove that humans were strong and that they deserved respect in the galaxy. She believed that humans could be powerful warriors just like the Zarkonians, and even better in some ways. Her arrival shocked the Zarkonians because she showed skill and courage no one expected. At first, some Zarkonians tried to ignore her. They thought she was alone and weak, easy to capture or defeat. But Lila moved quickly and carefully. She used the terrain to her advantage, hiding in shadows and striking with precision. She surprised many with her quick thinking and clever moves. The Zarkonian soldiers began to realize this human was not ordinary. Lila's weapons were not bright or flashy like the aliens' tools, but she used them with great skill. She carried a sword made of strong metal and a small shield. Her fighting style was different from the Zarkonians' heavy and direct attacks. Instead, she was fast and flexible, dodging blows and striking at the right moments. This made her very hard to catch or defeat. When the Zarkonian leaders saw her in action during a small fight on their planet, they were shocked. She was able to defeat several soldiers who were considered some of the best fighters. The stories about human warriors, which they once laughed at, suddenly seemed real. Some leaders started to worry. Maybe humans were not the weak creatures they believed them to be. The news of Lila's actions spread through the cities and villages of Zarkon. The aliens talked in whispers, wondering who this human was and why she was here. Some were curious, while others were afraid. The idea that a human could fight and win on their home ground was hard to accept. Many Zarkonians wanted to meet Lila, to see her strength with their own eyes. But they also wanted to challenge her, to prove once and for all that humans were nothing more than myths. The alien warriors prepared themselves, sharpening their weapons and training harder than before. They wanted to show that no one, not even a human, could defeat them. Meanwhile, Lila did not fear the challenges. She was calm and focused. She knew she had a tough road ahead but was ready to face any test. Her mission was clear: to prove that humans were brave and strong, worthy of respect among the stars. She believed that her courage could change the way aliens saw her people. The tension grew day by day. The Zarkonians were divided. Some saw Lila as a threat, others as a mystery to be understood. No one had ever met a human warrior like her. The stories they once told as myths were now alive and standing in front of them. Lila's presence forced the Zarkonians to rethink their beliefs. The simple myths about humans being weak and powerless could no longer hide the truth. There was more to humans than anyone had imagined, and soon, the alien leader would decide to face Lila in combat to settle the question once and for all. The arrival of the human warrior on Zarkon was not just an event. It was the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter where old ideas would be challenged, and where the universe would learn that even those once dismissed as myths could become legends. As the days passed on Zarkon, the tension between the aliens and the human warrior, Lila, grew stronger. The people of Zarkon were curious but also nervous. Many had never seen anyone fight like Lila before. Her strength, speed, and skill made them wonder if the old stories about human warriors might be true after all. But there were still many who refused to believe it. Among the Zarkonians, the leader of their warrior forces was a powerful alien, named Vorthan. He was tall, strong, and known for winning many battles. Vorthan was proud of his skills and had never lost a fight. He wore shiny armor made from rare metals and carried weapons that glowed with energy. To him, humans were nothing more than stories, not real threats. When Vorthan heard about Lila, he laughed at first. "A human? On my planet? This is a joke," he told his closest advisors. But as more reports came in about Lila's fighting, skills, and her victories against some of the best Zarkonian soldiers, his laughter turned to concern. If the stories about this human warrior were true, it could mean trouble for Zarkon. Vorthan knew he had to act. To protect his people and his pride as their strongest warrior, he decided to challenge Lila himself. He wanted to show everyone that the myths about human warriors were false, and that no human could defeat him in combat. So, he sent a message to Lila. The message was clear and bold. He challenged her to a public fight to prove who was the better warrior. When Lila received the challenge, she did not hesitate. She understood what was at stake. This fight was not just about her. It was about every human being who had ever been dismissed or underestimated. Accepting the challenge was her chance to show the galaxy that humans were strong and brave. News of the challenge spread quickly through Zarkon. People from all over the planet gathered to watch the fight. Some came to see a quick victory for Vorthan, the great alien warrior. Others were curious to see if the human warrior could really be as strong as the stories said. The arena was huge, a place where many important battles had taken place before. It was filled with spectators from different species who wanted to witness the event. On the day of the fight, the arena was buzzing with excitement and tension. The sky was bright with multiple suns, shining down on the large crowd. Vorthan entered first, his armor shining and his face showing confidence. He walked slowly, knowing everyone was watching him. He raised his weapons high and shouted to the crowd, showing that he was ready to win. Then Lila appeared. She was calm and steady, her eyes focused and serious. She wore her simple armor and carried her sword and shield. Unlike Vorthan's heavy armor and glowing weapons, Lila's gear looked old-fashioned, but her presence was powerful. The crowd fell silent for a moment, surprised by her quiet confidence. The two warriors stood facing each other in the middle of the arena. The rules were simple. The fight would end when one warrior could no longer continue. The spectators waited, eagerly. The sound of a gong signaled the start. Vorthan moved first, charging quickly with his glowing spear aimed at Lila. His strikes were strong and fast, meant to overpower his opponent with force. But Lila was ready. She dodged his attacks with quick, smooth movements. She moved like water, flowing around Vorthan's blows and keeping herself safe. Lila's style was very different from Vorthan's. Instead of attacking with raw power, she used speed and cleverness. She looked for openings and weaknesses in Vorthan's defense. When she saw a chance, she struck with her sword in quick, precise cuts. The crowd gasped when she landed her first hit on Vorthan's armor, a spot few had reached before. Vorthan was shocked. No one had fought like this before. He had always relied on his strength and his advanced weapons. But Lila was unpredictable. She moved in ways he could not easily predict or block. The fight became a battle of minds as well as bodies. The two warriors circled each other, each trying to gain the upper hand. Vorthan used his energy shield to block Lila's sword strikes, but she was relentless. She used her small shield to deflect some attacks and pushed forward, never giving him a moment to rest. Her breath was steady, and her eyes showed determination. As the fight went on, the crowd watched in silence. The noise of cheering had disappeared. Everyone was focused on the battle, amazed at the skill both warriors showed. Some began to whisper that maybe humans were not myths after all. Vorthan grew tired. He had fought many battles before, but none had tested him like this. Lila's strength was not just in her body, but in her heart. She fought not only for herself, but for all humans who had been doubted and ignored. This gave her a power that surprised Vorthan. At one moment, Vorthan tried a powerful strike that he believed would end the fight. He swung his spear down hard, but Lila moved quickly and caught the spear with her shield. She pushed Vorthan back and used the chance to land a strong blow to his side. The impact made Vorthan stumble. The crowd erupted in cheers. They had never seen a human warrior fight like this. Vorthan stood, breathing heavily, and looked at Lila with new respect. He realized that this human was not just a myth or a joke. She was a true warrior. The fight continued with both fighters giving their best. It was clear that the match would not end quickly. Both warriors showed great skill, courage, and heart. The battle was not just about winning, it was about respect. When the gong finally sounded to end the fight, both warriors were tired but proud. They had tested each other and learned that strength came in many forms. The crowd rose to their feet, cheering for both fighters, especially the human who had challenged everything they believed. Vorthan stepped forward and bowed his head to Lila. This simple act showed that he accepted her as a worthy opponent and respected her courage. Lila smiled, knowing that this moment was more than a victory. It was a beginning of something new for humans and aliens alike. The challenge had been accepted, the battle fought, and the truth was clear. Humans were no longer myths. They were real warriors, ready to take their place among the stars. After the great battle in the arena, everyone on Zarkon was talking about the human warrior, Lila. The fight had shocked many aliens because it showed them that humans were much stronger and braver than they had believed for so long. The Zarkonians had always thought humans were just myths, stories from the past with no truth. But now they could see the truth with their own eyes. The alien leader, Vorthan, was one of the first to change his mind. Before the fight, he had been confident that no human could match him in combat. But after facing Lila, he saw how wrong he had been. He felt a deep respect for her strength and courage. It was clear to him that humans were real warriors. This realization was important because it meant the Zarkonians had to rethink everything they knew about humans. After the fight, the Zarkonian Council called an urgent meeting. The council was a group of wise leaders who made important decisions about the future of the planet and its people. They gathered to discuss what the fight meant for Zarkon and for the rest of the galaxy. Some council members were worried. They had ignored humans for too long, and now they saw that humans might become powerful allies or dangerous enemies. During the meeting, the council members talked about many things. They asked questions like, who was this human warrior? Where did she come from? How did humans become so strong? Could there be more like her? And what did it mean for the future of the galaxy if humans were really this powerful? One council member, a wise elder named Zarina, spoke clearly. She said, "We must respect this new knowledge. Humans are not myths. They have courage and skill. that we have not seen before. We should not fear them, but learn from them and find ways to work together. Another member was more cautious. He said, "We do not know their true power. They might have many warriors like Lila. We must prepare for any danger but also seek peace." The council agreed to send a special team to Earth to learn more about humans and their ways. They wanted to understand how humans trained and fought, and if they could build trust between their two worlds. Meanwhile, Lila became a symbol of hope and change. Stories of her bravery spread far beyond Zarkon. Aliens from different planets began to wonder about humans and their place in the universe. Some wanted to meet humans, others wanted to study their culture and history. Lila herself was not interested in fame or glory. She had come to Zarkon with a simple goal: to prove that humans deserved respect. She had shown that humans could be strong and brave, even without the advanced technology of the Zarkonians. Her victory was a message of hope for many who had been doubted or looked down upon. The alien warriors who had once laughed at the idea of human fighters now trained harder. They wanted to learn from Lila's style and improve their own skills. Some even asked her to teach them her ways. This was a huge change. What was once a joke had become a source of inspiration. At the same time, the relationship between humans and Zarkonians began to grow. They started to send messages and share knowledge. The two worlds learned about each other's strengths and weaknesses. They found that despite their differences, they could work together for peace and prosperity. Lila was invited to join the Zarkonian training schools as a special teacher. She traveled across the planet, showing warriors how to fight with courage and strategy, not just power. Her lessons helped many become better fighters and better leaders. This new respect for humans also helped end old fears and misunderstandings. Aliens who once saw humans as weak and silly now saw them as equals. This change opened doors for new friendships and alliances. The victory in the arena was more than just a fight. It was the start of a new chapter in the galaxy, one where humans and aliens could learn from each other and grow stronger together. Lila's courage had broken old barriers and showed that sometimes the smallest fighters can make the biggest difference. Her story inspired many young warriors on Zarkon and beyond. They learned that true strength comes from the heart and mind, not just from weapons or technology. They learned that respect is earned through bravery and honor. As the years passed, humans and Zarkonians worked side by side. They faced new challenges and explored new worlds. Together, they built a future where stories about human warriors were no longer myths, but proud realities. Lila's name became a legend, not just on Zarkon, but across the stars. She was remembered as the warrior who changed everything with her courage and determination. Her story was told and retold, inspiring generations to come. After the Great Battle and the change in how the Zarkonians saw humans, life on Zarkon began to change in many ways. Lila's victory was not just a moment in history, it was the start of something new that would affect many lives for years to come. The Zarkonian people, once proud and confident in their own strength, now had a new respect for humans. They saw that humans had courage and skill that could not be ignored. This respect grew into a desire to learn more about humans and to find ways to work together. Lila became a symbol of hope, not only for humans, but for all beings who had ever been judged unfairly. She showed that anyone, no matter where they come from, can be strong if they believe in themselves and fight with honor. Her story spread across the galaxy, inspiring others to be brave and to never give up. The leaders of Zarkon decided to build a new alliance with Earth and the human race. They sent ambassadors and scholars to Earth to learn about human culture, history, and ways of life. Humans, too, were curious about the Zarkonians and wanted to understand their advanced technology and fighting techniques. This exchange of knowledge helped both worlds grow stronger. Humans learned about new weapons, space travel, and different ways to defend themselves. Zarkonians learned about human courage, creativity, and determination. Together, they discovered that combining their strengths made them better. Lila continued to play an important role in this new friendship. She became a teacher and a leader, traveling between Earth and Zarkon. She trained new warriors, both human and alien, teaching them how to fight with honor and respect. Her lessons were not just about fighting, but about understanding one another and working as a team. As the years passed, humans and Zarkonians joined forces to face common challenges. They fought against dangers from other parts of the galaxy and helped protect weaker planets from harm. Their teamwork showed that differences in appearance or origin did not matter when they stood together. Many young humans looked up to Lila as a hero. They dreamed of becoming warriors like her, brave, strong, and respected. Her story gave them hope that they could achieve great things even if others doubted them at first. On Zarkon, the older generation who once laughed at human warriors now told stories of Lila's fight and victory. They taught their children that strength comes from courage and heart, not just from powerful weapons. The idea that humans were myths became a thing of the past. This new respect also brought peace between many alien races. Seeing humans and Zarkonians working together showed others that enemies could become friends if they tried. The galaxy slowly became a safer and better place for all. Lila never forgot where she came from. She remembered Earth and the people who had trained her to be strong. She carried their spirit with her wherever she went. Her victory was not only hers, it belonged to all humans who believed in themselves. Her story became a legend told in many languages and on many planets. It reminded everyone that no matter how small or unknown you may seem, you can make a big difference. Courage, honor, and respect are the true powers that connect all beings. In the end, the day when aliens dismissed human warriors as myths became a turning point. It was the day when the universe learned to see humans in a new light. It was the day when one brave woman changed the course of history by standing up and fighting with all her heart. The galaxy would never be the same again, thanks to Lila, the human warrior who proved that myths can become reality and that anyone can be a hero.